Hey there, and welcome to Crochet Therapy. I'm Barbara, your host for this tutorial of the Crochet Nesting Bowls. And these bowls are made in 4 different sizes. This one is the smallest, and as you can see, they're flat on the bottom, and they go straight up the sides. They're very pliable, and yet, look, they hold their sides. So however you set it, that's how it will stay. They're really, really good for anything that you want to store. So we have the smallest one, and as you can see, I'll show you here, they're all nested inside. These are 3 of them nested inside of each other. And then my largest one is the one that I use for my crochet, and I will keep stitch markers attached to the side. I will keep a needle attached to the side, a yarn darner attached to the side. I can keep my hooks in there, and any little balls of yarn or anything that I want to keep in there that will be helpful while I am crocheting. So I'm going to keep this next to me. And as I go through what will be required, I'm going to actually put what I'm not going to use right now back into my yarn bowl, my largest nesting bowl. So what you will need is obviously a yarn darner for weaving in your ends. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that back in there. There we go. You will need a stitch marker, and I'll keep that one out. You will need some scissors just for the end. There will not be any changing of yarn until we get to the very end, which is really helpful. 2 skeins of yarn, and you will need 2 4-weight strands of yarn. And we are going to actually crochet these as one piece of yarn, okay? And that's what makes this this bowl so sturdy. The hook that I'm using is my favorite clover hook, and it is a 5.5 millimeter size I hook. And this is the Clover Amour hook. This is my favorite brand. I am in no way affiliated with them. I'm just in love with these hooks. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a magic knot. We're going to take the yarn and wrap it around and turn it into an X. Go into under this first double strand, yarn over and pull this other strand through until you have a circle, a loop, and then you're going to take this yarn and pull it through that loop. There you go. And that is our magic circle. Okay, so in this magic circle, we are going to crochet 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we're going to give this a little tug. We're not going to tighten it all the way yet, but we're going to tighten it pretty close. Okay, so let's go ahead and count our stitches. We don't count what's on our hook. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is number 6, and we're going to make sure that we get under all 4 of those stitches. Okay, now we are working in the round, so we will not be stopping and starting. We will just be continuing. So this first stitch that we're going to make in the next row is actually going to be a single crochet. Single crochet to connect, and I'm going to use my trusty stitch marker, and I'm going to go under that stitch so I know that that is my first stitch in the next row. Okay, so for the next row, we are going to do, in row 2, an increased single crochet round. So every stitch gets 2 single crochets. So we've done 1 in that first stitch, and I'm going to do another one in that first stitch, 2 in this next stitch. Now this is going to feel different because we're using 2 strands of yarn, so it's going to feel very thick, and we're only using an eye hook. The purpose of this is to make the stitches sturdy. Okay, there we go. Let me pull some more yarn. Yep, and looky here, I've got a little bit of a knot right here in the yarn, so I'm going to undo this knot. There we go. It wasn't a true knot, it was just a little bit of a tangle. Okay. So we have, and we're going to tighten this, pull this up a little bit. Let's tighten this circle down a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Okay. And we're going to encourage it to go straight out. So there we go. Let's see, we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we have to do 1 more in this stitch. 6. 7. 8. 9 and 10. Oop, and my stitch marker fell out, but it belonged right here. I think I wiggled it out with my hand. Okay, now we're going to do 2 in here. 1, 2. Okay. Now at the end of this round, we should have 12 stitches. Let's go ahead and count them. Just for fun, especially since this stitch marker came out, I'm just going to verify. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and this one is 12. Perfect. Okay. On to row 3. Okay. Now in this tutorial, we are making the largest nesting bowl. Once we get done, I will explain to you how you would make these smaller nesting bowls. Okay, so for row 3, we do an increased single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single crochet in the next stitch, increase single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and we follow that pattern all the way around. So this first stitch, we are going to place 2 single crochets, and in the next stitch, we are going to place 1 single crochet. And I just checked to make sure I was getting all the stitches through, and I am. The colors that I'm using here are from Hobby. I ordered these yarns from Denmark, and I ordered them a while ago, and they are the Tivoli XL. So this one is a light lavender color, or wisteria, I think they call it. And this one is, I know it looks blue, but in person, it's really a dark teal. So I put these together because I thought it would give a nice contrast, a dark and a light. And so it just, you know, gives a little interest as we're doing this so that the colors don't, they're not so close together. And I do like the way it does a contrast. Okay, so let's continue on. We have our increase and we have our 1 single crochet. The next stitch is an increase. And 1 single crochet. Increase. and 1 single crochet. Increase, and 1 single crochet. Increase, and 1 single crochet. And we've got 2 stitches left, which is perfect. Increase, and 1 single crochet. Okay. And I can feel this is pretty sturdy, so that's good. Okay, at the end of round 3, we should have 18 stitches. Now on to round 4. Round 4, we are going to just continue on with our increase stitch row count. And so the first stitch will be an increase, and the next 2 stitches will be single crochet. Increase, single crochet, single crochet. Increase, single crochet, single crochet, and we'll do that all the way around until we get to the end. This is how we build our circle. And you may have to talk to yourself while you do this, just so you can keep track of the increases and the single crochets. So you can say increase, and 1 and 2. Increase, and 1 and 2. Increase, and 1 and 2. It really doesn't matter what kind of yarn you use as long as it's a 4-weight yarn. So if you like Red Heart Super Saver, go for it. Red Heart Super Saver is awesome for these projects. It's inexpensive. You can find all the colors, and you know, you can make a whole ton of these. Let's see. So now we're going to do an increase, and I forgot to put my stitch marker in, but I'm going to give you a little hint. 1, 2. Okay. So, okay, let's get a really good close-up of this circle. So, let me use this. Let's see, let me use this. Okay, so in here, this is where we started with the circle, and do you see how it just spirals out? So right here is where the second row started. Can you see that? This is where it goes, and then all of a sudden right here is where there's a second row. Okay? So that is where we're aiming to be. Okay? So, also, since I did not use my stitch marker, let me see. Single crochet, single crochet. Okay, I'm going to count the stitches because in this row we need to have 24 stitches, and this will tell me if that's what I have. And I think I need to do one more, but I may need to do 2. Okay, so come along with me while I do some investigation. Okay, so I always start where I have the loop because that's the easiest place for me to start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I have 2 extra stitches. So what that's telling me is that I did not need to do that last increase. And here I'll show you why. Because I was well, I might not have even needed to do that other one. Let's see. I think I need to back up. Okay. There we go. Because each increase only increases by 1, and I was 2 over. So I got a little bit happy and just kept going. That's why it's important to use stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so there you go. You get to learn a lesson from my mistake. Okay, that's how you know if you're on the right row. And if you forget to use your stitch marker, just count your stitches and see if you're under or over. And yes, I'm sorry to tell you, you may have to do some math. Not my favorite, but hey, if it's crochet math, we can do it. All right, so I am done with row 4. Now row 5 will be easy. Also, we are going to do another increase row. We are going to do an increase, and then the next 3 stitches will be single crochets. Increase, and then 3 stitches of single crochet. And this time I am definitely using my stitch marker. 1, 2, that was my increase. I'm going to go back 2 and put my stitch marker in that second one from the back. There you go. And now I'm going to do 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. Increase. 1, 2 on the increase. I keep getting my hair in this project. Okay, now 3 single crochets in a row. Do an increase. 3 single crochets in a row. Increase. 3 single crochets in a row. Increase. 3 single crochets. Increase. And there should be 3 single crochets left, and ta-da, there is. 1, 2, 3. Now if you ever get to the end and you're off, you have an extra stitch or you're short a stitch, then that's your clue that somewhere in this round you have made a mistake. And so it's easy to correct it if you pay attention while you're doing it. Okay, so that was round 5. Okay, we don't have very many more rounds to go, so this is going to be a pretty quick project. Okay, the next row is also an increase row, and this is round 6. We are going to increase single crochet in that first stitch, and then in the next 4 we will single crochet, increase, and then in the next 4 single crochet. Okay, are you ready? All right, let's do this. 1, 2 for the increase. I'm gonna go and put my stitch marker in. There we go. And then count 4. You ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Increase. 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 And 1, 2, 3, 4 is what's left. It's perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for this next row, now this one has 42 stitches in it, okay? For the next row, we are going, this will be row number 7. We will be doing an increased single crochet in that first stitch, and then we will be crocheting a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. Okay, so I am going to work my way around just like we've been doing. An increase, it's 2 single crochets. I'm going to put my stitch marker in. Very good. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then occasionally we can just lay it on the table and smooth it out. If you use the heat of your hand, it also helps to make it flat. So this row is row number 7. We do an increased single crochet and then 5 single crochets in a row. Increased single crochet, 5 single crochets in a row. Let's go ahead and do this round, and I'm going to meet you right back here. Okay, I'm at the end of that round. Now we have one more round to make the bottom, and that is round number 8. And we are going to increase single crochet in the first stitch, and then we are going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So you have seen a pattern, I'm sure. Each round we go, we increase the space between the increases by 1 stitch, 1 single crochet. So this one, we are going to increase single crochet, 1, 2, and I am going to put my stitch marker in. There we go. And then I'm going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then increase single crochet, and then single crochet in the next 6 stitches. Now, for some reason, I tend to, especially when I'm making these kind of projects, this one especially, I hold my yarn very tight in my finger. If you notice, I'm not just casually doing this, I'm actually squeezing it because I want to get a nice tight stitch. I want it to be sturdy. I don't want it to be floppy. So I'm using the 2 strands of 4-weight yarn, but if you'll look, my stitches are pretty tight. So there's not a lot of loosey-goosey room in there, okay? So just FYI, that is probably part of the reason why my, my nesting bowls stay nice and sturdy. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue around. Increase single crochet 6 times, increase single crochet in the next stitch 6 stitches, and let's keep going all the way around till we get to the beginning. All right, I'm back at the beginning. I just took the stitch marker out, and this is the bottom. Okay, so this is actually going to be the outside, and this is the inside. So if you want, you can sew in your ends at this time, or you can wait until you're done, because this will be easily accessible. Okay, now your next step is going to be 1 row of single crochet back loop only. This is row number 9, single crochet in the back loop only. So I'm going to move this forward a little bit so that you can see. Do you see how there's a V? Back loop only is this part of the V that is farthest from you. So back loop only, we're going to go in here, make sure that you have 2 strands. You're going to have the light one and the dark one, okay? And then you're going to do a single crochet, back loop only. Single crochet, back loop only, single crochet, back loop only. And as you do this, you're going to start seeing a line appear. And that's the front loop that is still there, that is still showing up. So you see that line appearing? That is going to help us set the base for our bowl. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Single crochet, back loop only. Notice I didn't put my stitch marker in. You know why? Because I'm going to see exactly where I started this row, which is right here where that line starts. Okay, so I'm going to continue on until I get over here and back loop only, and then I'll show you what we do from there. Okay, I'll meet you right back. Single crochet, back loop only. Okay, I'm done with that row. Can you see where we started with the back loop only? And here we've ended. Now don't be fooled by this, because this is the actual stitch. It just looks like, you see how it's not the stitch. This is the V that you're looking at here. But if you look here, this is the line, and then right here is the line as well. So what we're going to do, we are going to, obviously we always work from the outside, and so what we're going to do is start turning this bowl and making this the side, and we are going to, there we go. Okay, and then as we go up, it is going to start really taking shape. Okay, this is going to form the bottom of your bowl. So for rows 10 through 18, we are going to single crochet in each stitch around. You don't need a stitch marker. Use this little jog as your marker. So as you're going around, you're going to, like, this is row 9. So right here is going to be the way you count, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? All right, and that's how we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and get our sides going. Single crochet all the way around rows 10 through 18. All right, and I'll meet you back when we get to the top. And I always work from the outside in. And this time I am going to make sure that I do both loops, okay? We're not back looping it anymore. We're going to get both loops. And we're going to single crochet. And so there are 4 strands to make sure that we get both colors and both loops, the front loop and the back loop. Okay, and we're going to continue to crochet this all the way around for rows 10 through 18. Okay, I'll meet you back. Okay, I've gotten to the end of row 18, and as you can see, the ones that I already had, I went ahead and nested in this one, and see how it just fits. It fits perfectly. So I'm going to take these out, and now the only thing that I have to do, I do have to weave in this end, because otherwise this magic circle may come undone, and we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you weave in your ends in the inside of the basket. And I know that you guys know how to weave in your ends. Okay, and then here is where I've stopped. Right here where this jog is, I have stopped, and I am going to fasten off. Now, actually, here is where you have a choice. If you would like to do a little bit of a border, you can. And I'm going to show you a secret. One of these nesting bowls has a border, and then the others don't. So this one does not, this one does not. The larger one that I use for my crochet does not. However, this one does. Do you see this border? All this is a slip stitch all the way around. So when you do a slip stitch, I'm going to show you how to do it. It's your choice if you want to do a border slip stitch, okay? The only thing you would need to do is insert your hook through both loops and all 4 strands, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Make sure you don't make it too tight. Give a little wiggle room between each stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and slip stitch. Okay, do you see that? Now you can see how that is bringing a stitch to the side. This is actually making this top part a little more sturdy. Totally your call whether you want to do that or not. I'm actually not going to do that. I am going to finish off. I really like these colors that I chose. I wasn't sure how they were going to go together, but you know, as they are together side by side, each of the colors has kind of changed. I don't even see the lavender anymore, and I don't really see the teal as much as I see more of a blue and almost a gray. So it's really pretty, and I like it, and I really like how this bowl turned out. So I'm going to do one slip stitch and then yarn over and pull through. That's how I finish off, okay? And I'm going to cut this yarn and pull it the rest of the way through, give it a little tug, and I will weave in those ends. But for now, I want to go over how you make the other bowls that you will nest inside of here. Okay, so this is the big bowl that I just made, the one that I use for my crochet, okay? So when you made this crochet, you actually had 8 rows on the bottom, okay? 8 rows, and then you did the back loop only stitch. I'm picking up a lot of cat fur. So we did 8 rows and then the back loop only stitch. For the next size down, you will do 7 rows. So you'll follow the complete instructions, but when you get to row 7, you'll complete row 7, and then you'll go to the back loop only. And then you will go straight up with the single crochet only. And what I would do if I were you, because I can tell you how many rows this is, because we have the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this was 8. So we have 7 rows, then we have a back loop only row, okay? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this one I actually did the slip stitch on. So you may need 7 in order to make it nest into your bowl. But what you're going to do is you're going to keep going with your sides. Start with the biggest bowl first, and then you'll start with your sides and you'll tuck it in. And if it is even with your other bowl, doesn't have to be perfect, but if it's fairly even, which this is, then you'll stop, okay? And then when you do the next size down, which is this one, you will stop on the bottom with row 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 rows in, then you'll do the back loop only, and then you'll do the single crochet up the sides until you get to the height that fits even with these bowls. That's the trick. The next bowl down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you follow the instructions for the first 5 rows of the bottom, back loop only stitch, and then you single crochet around until your side is high enough to be even with the others. And that's how you do it. So you could even do a smaller one. You would, instead of doing 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you could do 4 rows and do the back loop only, do the sides up until it's even with this one. You could do 1, 2, 3. You could even do a really tiny one. I mean, you could go as small until they don't fit anymore. With the same logic, you can go bigger than this one, okay? So remember how when we made these rows, with each row, we did an increase single crochet, and then we did a certain number of single crochets. And with each row, we increased the number of single crochets that we did between the increases. So the last one that we did on this largest one was an increased single crochet, and then we did 6 single crochets in a row. So if you wanted to go one bowl bigger, you would do an extra row, and that row number 9 would be an increased single crochet and then 7 single crochets between. Increased single crochet, 7 single crochets, and that would make it the next size larger. And then you would do your back loop only, and then you would go up the side doing single crochets until this nestled in there evenly. So that's your option. Use your imagination. Use your imagination with the colors too, because there are endless color combinations. I really liked this one when I did it, but you know, I'm really in love with this one too. So you can make this for any decor and for any purpose. So whatever size you need, go for it. I hope that you have a great day. And thank you for joining me with this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, please hit the like button. And as always, hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when new tutorials are put out. Stay safe, be kind, and get hooking.